We've been smoked out by people before, or like no like hard drugs really. No one's offered us any hard drugs.
Like, have you ever been to our shows?
I mean, I'm thinking random people though. Has it happened to you?
I mean, yeah. There's always a dude with a backpack at every bar.
Yeah. And he's come up to you and offered stuff?
Well, I mean,
No one ever comes up to me.
We were, I was like friends with some of the guys in the Deacons for a long time, and they played this show. Shout out to the Deacons.
Deacons!
They played this show at this frat house down in Alabama, and a guy came up to.
Yeah, I remember
the
story. Yeah.
I think a guy came up to like Jake, the bass player, after the show, and was like, "Hey man, it's like Hot Rod. You guys seen Hot Rod?" He's like, "Hey man, I've got this acid. I don't want to do it." And he was just like, he just gave Jake just acid. Jake didn't do it. He was like, I didn't trust this guy, but he just like handed him this. I don't really know much about acid, but he just handed him a good amount apparently.
Yeah, I think he gave him like half a sheet or something. Like it was a decent amount. But I'm pretty sure that's the show too where they got paid in beer.
Yeah. Has that ever happened?
I did just remember a crazy story.
Tell it.
Sorry, go ahead. Keep going.
Please.
But have you guys ever gotten paid in beer?
Indirectly. We realized when we started talking to people now, you're like, well, what if we did no tab and $50 more? They're like, okay. So, like, they kind of probably budget for that. But,
what's the crazy story, though?
Well, we didn't get paid or necessarily offered drugs, but we did get invited to this party in Knoxville, and this was back.
Oh God.
This is a long time ago, right? This is like when we first started touring.
You put so much weed in the band.
So these guys were super cool. We played shows with them before in Knoxville. I don't remember the name of their band, but they were like, "Hey, we're having a party at our house. You guys want to come and hang out? There's gonna be a bunch of people there." I'm like, "Yeah, sure, whatever." And so we get there, and the guy pulls up. We're in the parking lot. And the guy pulls up, and he hands us this. It looks like a jar, a big mason jar, not like the normal size, but like a double-sized mason jar. And it's like wrapped in a blanket or something. And he's like, "Here, just hold this, take this inside, and give this to fucking Jimmy or something." I don't remember his name. And we were like, "Okay, whatever." Well, we unwrap it, and this jar is full of weed. Like, and we're like, "Oh!" And so we go in there and we find Jimmy, and Jimmy just gets it rolling. Well, everybody's just hanging out, having a good old time, and there's like this little attic room that everybody was hanging out with, and everybody was just smoking a ton of weed. That was probably like,
oh my God.
Yeah, that was probably the funniest. And then there was like a devil mask that I put on at one point and scared everyone in the attic.
Yeah, Knoxville gets a little crazy sometimes.
Yeah, it was crazy. I mean, those guys were super cool, super nice. I think we stayed there, but we jammed. We ended up jamming for like an hour or two. They had stuff set up.
Oh, they knew exactly what they were getting into.
That was a good night. It was fun.
It was fun.
I just remember having a really good time.
Yeah.
But yeah, I guess that's the most drugs we've ever been off that collectively offered, I suppose I should say.
Zack just lit up. He's like, "Have you ever been to one of our shows?" That's very funny. But we always do this. We always like talk pop culture. That's like a big thing that we talk about in some episodes. So just kind of want to like fire off the hip some questions at you. Just pop culture, like favorite movies. You guys like favorite movie go to?
Goonies.
Hook. I like Hook a lot.
Okay.
Hook.
Robin Williams.
That's a movie that's not talked about very often.
No, I just love
but
it.
I feel like that's one of the ones that like everybody has seen.
Yeah, for sure.
It's a good one. I like those 80s Steven Spielberg movies. You know, like The Goonies and E.T. Those like adventure movies. Something about the vibe.
Yeah.
Movies. So good.
Have you ever been to Universal Studios? And that's like totally random question. Have you ever in the E.T. ride?
Yes.
Botanicus. I don't know. I was there like 2 weekends ago, and I thought it was so funny because like just I don't know. I just thought that was just super funny.
Is that what they say?
Yeah, I don't know the full story because it's like such a fast ride. It's like 2 minutes, but like Botanicus is E.T.'s like spiritual friend or guide or something. And I just thought it was really funny because it just like made that movie so much weirder.
Botanicus.
Because you get like transported to E.T.'s home planet.
Yeah, right. And you see all the little ones.
Yeah, and the little it's kind of like, it's honestly pretty creepy.
It is. The weirdest part is when he says your name at the end.
Yes. Yeah,
like,
I think I said like, I think I said Susan or something.
Yeah, I give him a weird name.
Yeah, I just always give him a weird name because like, I don't know, Big Brother may be out there. E.T. may be storing all the names that I've written, so got to throw him off somehow. What favorite movie besides Hook or like series or anything like that? You're just like super into.
I watched The Dark Knight the other day. That Batman movie.
It's still every time I watch that movie,
It's
I'm
good.
like, it's such a good movie.
And it's pretty good. I mean, I wouldn't say that's like my favorite movie, but
Yeah.
I watched it recently and I thought it was awesome. I like the movie. Rest in peace, Heath Ledger.
Yeah.
What movies are over there on this thing? What About Bob? That's a good classic funny movie. I love
I've never seen that movie.
You need to watch What About Bob? School of Rock.
That's a classic.
Absolutely.
Love School of Rock. It's a good one. Dumb and Dumber, of course.
What did you see Dumb and Dumber 2?
No. Is that the one with Bob Saget?
I don't know.
Maybe that's Dumb and Dumberer.
I think that is a Dumb and Dumber, like the prequel, like straight to DVD movie that they did of those guys.
Yeah.
I didn't see. I never saw Dumb and Dumber 2. The trailer was enough for me.
Either.
I was just like, I get it. I know what you guys are gonna do. Yeah. What about like TV? Anything you guys like binge or it's just like a constant like?
I like Rick and Morty a lot.
Hell
I like
yeah.
cartoons. I like animations. I don't know. You guys don't really dig that stuff as much. What do you like, Zach?
I like crime stuff.
Crime.
I watch Game of Thrones too.
Oh, yeah? Are you caught up?
Oh yeah.
Oh, it's fucking intense, man.
I enjoy Game of Thrones.
This next season's about to be wild.
Yeah, if they ever put it out.
Yeah,
jeez.
yeah, really.
So are you like a true crime fan at all? Like are you into like just like crazy real stuff at all? Like
That's a podcast, right? Now.
Last podcast on the left?
Yeah, last podcast on the left does a lot of true crime stuff. They're pretty crazy.
Yeah.
They're one of the guys that we like talk about. Like when we first were like, oh, we want to start putting out podcasts. We're like, well, who do we not model or completely base our formula off of theirs, but was like a little bit of an inspiration for just like the setup and stuff.
What's that one that we both listened to? The guy out of Atlanta.
Yeah, I can't remember.
It was.
That's kind of what I thought he was talking about, but I don't know the name. Not good with names.
It's where she's close to Atlanta and she goes missing. She's a pageant queen. No one can figure out what happened to her. Tara.
Winstead.
Tara Winstead.
Yeah.
This is like a raisin. I haven't heard.
What's
this.
it called? It's called. I thought he was talking about.
Oh, is it like a story thing or is it like a real thing
It's
that
like a
happened?
real-
It's real. It's
Okay.
real. It's real.
When you said that first, I thought of like John Benet Ramsey, but
Oh shoot! I'm just gonna look on. I know if I pull up my podcast, it'll be on there.
No, I haven't heard of that one. That's fun.
Hold on, let me think. Let me see. All right, so there's one called Atlanta Monster. Which have you listened to that one yet?
No.
That one's crazy because it's about this serial killer in Atlanta in the early '80s, and he was just like taking young African American boys out of from ages 5 to 12, and he killed like 32.
Whoa.
yeah.
32.
What
They
was
still
it?
don't
What was
know
his
who it
name?
is. They think it's they
never. Yeah.
they arrested a guy named Wayne something, but there's a lot of weird inconsistencies or something.
Yeah.
Up and vanished.
That's what it's called.
Okay.
I've definitely heard of that, and I'm like very much into it. Not even just from that one podcast we mentioned, but just like in general, just like all sounds like so weird.
Serial is good too. I
So,
guess
like,
Serial.
What was what was the other one? What was the one after Serial?
The redneck guy?
Yeah, that was
I think it was just Serial. That one was called Dirty John.
no.
Whatever. True crime. I like true. What was that movie? Or there's a Netflix documentary where the guy gets arrested a bunch.
Making a Murderer?
Yes.
Making a
That
Murderer?
one was pretty crazy.
I love that. I like that.
Have you
Yeah.
seen? Have you watched Evil Genius yet?
I did watch that actually.
What'd you think about
That was
It was like it's a bank bombing, right?
Right. Oh,
Yeah.
that was nuts. Yeah. Weird. People are weird.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
There's
Weird stuff.
a new series out now you guys gotta check out. It's called I Am a Killer, and they interview people. Have you seen it?
Oh, the first episode
That-
was just like. Ugh.
It was super cringy, but like I wanted to finish the whole thing, but it was just it was wild. Basically, the premise of the show is they just interview people on death row, and it's
Oh God.
it's
Murderers.
insane. Yeah,
Oh, that's intense.
yeah, and they do like little reenactments, but ooh, it was pretty heavy.
Heavy.
The
Yeah.
look in that guy's eye is terrifying.
Yeah, truly. Yeah, it's
Yeah,
it's
I'll have to
wild.
also
Yeah.
check it
Dark. He's just like it's weird to see someone that's just like embracing the darkest part.
Mhm.
He's just like a dark human. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? It just like irked me in a weird
Yeah.
way. I think I watched it at the wrong time or something.
Yeah.
I just
Yeah.
wasn't ready, and it really irked me.
Yeah, it's
Well, yeah, that's one of the things is like I've listened to this podcast where they just cover so much true crime recently, and it's like, you know, kind of like how you said with like the rock star mentality. Some people really get into that. They really lean into being like, yeah, I'm a serial killer and I live for this shit. And it's like, what's going on in your head? Like, what is that
Yeah.
like?
Why would? Yeah.
It's weird, man.
another one. Have you guys seen Lovely Bones? The Lovely Bones.
That's off a book, right?
Yeah, that's one. If you ever have like a couple hours to just throw at Netflix, you gotta check that one out. But it's a story. It's not based on anything in particular.
What's the story? I feel like
and-
I think my girlfriend read the book.
Yeah, and Peter Jackson directed it. The guy who did Lord of the Rings and
Oh well.
The Hobbits and King Kong, all that good stuff. So it's pretty good.
It's heavy.
It
is dark.
I don't want to say it's pretty good. It's like a lot. But if you guys seem into it, so like that type of stuff. If you ever have like a couple hours to throw at it, it's what is his name? We talked about this earlier,
Yeah,
so
it's
I
on
feel
the
like it's
episode.
but I feel like I mentioned Lovely Bones too many
But
times.
just because you watched it recently, you
Yeah,
know, it's like stuck with you.
2 or 3 times, I think.
Yeah.
We kind of switch up from like movies and stuff. What about like music? I know we kind of like asked you a second ago, but maybe not so much music that you're into right now. What was like music that inspired you when you were younger and starting out, kind of?
Who would you say?
I don't know. I guess when I started being inspired by music was, I don't know, probably after I really started playing it. But like, I just grew up listening to a lot of like Christian music with my folks. And so, like, you know, I was like, well, what's edgy Christian music? And I was like, what, like Jars of Clay and like Relient K, and then
I love Jars
and
of
then
Clay
like
as a kid.
and then like
Yeah,
playing
decent
at church, like you just are learning like all that stuff,
Yeah.
kind of like building your tool set, I guess, as you will. And then you're like, oh, I can listen to whatever I want. Oh, Led Zeppelin,
yeah.
like the Beatles, like the Stones,
Yeah.
like Dark Side of the Moon from Pink
Yeah.
Floyd, like what?
Yeah.
And then you just
Do you,
try to find other things is
do
good.
you ever listen to Toby Mac?
Oh yeah.
Toby
I
Mac was
never really did. I feel like you were always singing those songs.
Yeah, I saw him live.
That was
year,
like
yeah.
the first CD I ever remember owning. My parents were like, "We got you something." They gave me Toby Mac.
Was like him like running on the front.
I think so.
Running pose.
Yeah, yeah.
It's funny because Relient K was the first concert I ever went to.
Oh,
Yeah.
nice.
And I still, like, this past week, I've been listening to just every one of their albums, just because, like, that's one of the things that's, like, that still sticks with me. It's like, I know every one of those songs and really
Yeah.
still get into
Well,
it.
they're like 3 chords, so if you like go from that to like Blink-182 and Green Day, and you're like, well, I can play a lot of songs with 3 chords. So
Yeah.
learning how to play music is awesome. That's inspiring.
Yeah.
So you like Blink-182, Green Day was like when you
Oh yeah.
tried to.
Yeah. Totally.
That's it. I think I remember we played in the 8th grade talent show, and I saw the video for All American Rejects, the Swing Swing.
Yes.
And
I grew up on that song, dude.
Dude, I
That
thought
was
it
my
was.
shit.
I thought they were the coolest shit. I think that's the first time that I remember seeing a band and being like trying to emulate that. I was like, I want to do like I got the tight T-shirt and the tight pants and like the weird straps on your
Yeah.
guitar and I wanted to be like those dudes for a second. But I guess...
I wanted to be Tom DeLonge forever.
Oh, yeah, dude. Tom DeLonge was...